Listen by ES. And I've been talking to him on the phone already just before this interview, and I'm very happy. We know, of course, that Canada is a bilingual country, and fortunately, he speaks English because my français au terrible. That would never work. So that is my first question. Good evening, ES. How are you?
Peace. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. I hope you're doing good as well in Canada. I hope there's not, mad things going on with all this COVID stuff.
You know what? We're managing.
I think that's what we're all doing all around the globe at this moment.
Indeed.
Yeah. As I said, that would be my first question. It is a bilingual country, of course. Are you bilingual as well?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I have very basic proficiency in French. English is my mother tongue.
Good, because my French is really bad. So let's stick to English. ES, all the way from Canada. How did you start off in the hip hop scene?
How did I start? So I've been a fan of hip hop since probably like '87. That was my first introduction to it. Groups like Run DMC, EPMD, Boogie Down Productions. Those are some of the groups that inspired me. To follow the passion.
Mm-hmm.
From then till probably around 2006, just dabbling. As a casual fan, had friends that made music, doing the open mic thing, ciphers, talent shows, that sort of thing. And 2006 is probably when I started, releasing music to the public. And sort of started taking it a little bit more seriously.
Oh, good. So you've had a long time to collect everything you have been writing and to master your skills. In 2006, you thought it was time to showcase that to the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I've heard some impressive names already, and those were the kind of rappers that used to have a message in their songs, or at least most of their songs. Is that something you also aspire for your own music?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, groups like, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, that was sort of, the vibe that I seem to gravitate to. I love the balance between, the conscious, thought-provoking lyricism as well as, the aggressive sort of battle rap. So I felt groups like KRS had a nice balance of the two, and that's sort of, where where my music is along the same line. So that's I've always been a fan of thought-provoking material.
Yeah.
I've always been an introspective, analytical thinker. So that's what I like to portray in my music as well.
Very good, because and we both in the studio believe that there's not enough music out there that actually have a message. We just we listened to Listen. I was a bit
okay.
Listen to Listen, which was partly about social media.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the great thing is when we started this hour, we had a brand new record from some young guys who made a record about social media and not to believe everything in social media, and certainly not to act the way you see in social media. So that is probably a message that's going around the world, because these were Dutch guys.
Yeah, indeed.
That is the beautiful thing about hip hop, I believe. It's something global.
Yes, absolutely, and that's the beautiful thing about social media and the internet. It's been able to make the world even smaller than it is, and level the playing field and connect people from different parts of the globe together in one common unifying force that we call hip hop. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And it's funny that you should mention that the internet brings people together, because your latest EP is you working together with someone from the United Kingdom, right?
That is correct. Yeah,
exactly. So that's how internet works to help hip hop out.
Absolutely.
So how did this come to pass?
Well, this most recent EP started pretty much right around the time the COVID shutdowns started.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been in putting out music for years prior, and right around the time the whole shutdown happened, I had canceled a number of studio sessions. After health officials had advised that people should cancel non-essential travel, stay home. So I was sort of in a bit of a dilemma. I didn't have anywhere to record, and I had all these outstanding projects and features that I hadn't got done. And I coincidentally met with a partner in crime, DJ Pandemonium from the UK, online on Facebook actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about making music together. We both we discovered each other's work, and we're fans of each other, and we wanted to work together. But the question was how were we going to do it? I didn't have a place to record, so through some resourcefulness on my part. Went on Amazon, did a Google search, went on Amazon, found, an affordable mic, some software, some hardware, and was able to set up, a nice little, basement recording setup. And, we were able to, get this project done within a 4-month period. And you could say the rest is history.
And in a 4-month period as well, and just having a connection through the internet.
Yep, that's all it took.
Wow! So
some inspiration, and some good music, and just inspiration from everything that was going on in the world with COVID, and the political unrest south of the border. A lot of the political racism stuff that was happening, that made for some good writing material.
Yeah, that whole period with the entire election going just south of the border for you is probably also a stressful time for Canadians, because they never know what's going to happen across the border.
Yep.
Wow. Funny you should say that there unfortunately still is a lot of racism on this planet. When you started to get interested in hip-hop, 1987 was probably also the time that the album of Ice-T came out, Rhyme Pays, which also has a lot of songs about racism. So in the last 40-some years, we haven't changed as much as to rid ourselves of this type of behavior.
That is very true. Not a whole lot has changed. I think there's probably more awareness now, but as far as like the system itself, it's still very much a lot of the same things that the Public Enemies and the Ice-Ts and the Ice Cubes and the NWAs were talking about back in the 80s and early 90s. Fast forward 30 years later, and we're still talking about the same problems. So not a whole lot has changed.
Yeah, that's why we feel we should have more people in hip hop displaying these type of messages.
Yeah, indeed.
So anyway, coming back to this Pandemonium ES collaboration, it's also called the Connect EP, which I think is very suitable for the way this came to pass. Are there going to be any more collaborations between the two of you?
Yeah, we've actually spoken about that. A lot of it based on the feedback that we've gotten from this release. We definitely got a good sense that there are quite a number of people out there that appreciated what we did on it, and the feedback from supporters definitely has us believing that we definitely need to do a part 2 or maybe even do a full length. So that's definitely in the works, or it's on our to-do list. So 2021, 2022, be on the lookout for some more music from us.
Well, looking at it from that way, do you think that the whole COVID situation brought something good? Because would this collaboration have been here if it was not for COVID?
You know what? That's a good question. Probably not. I'd say from a creative standpoint, COVID was probably the best thing that happened to me. And I say that only because of just my creative output. I ever since I became a little bit more self-sufficient as far as recording goes, I can, whenever I write or whenever I'm inspired, I don't need to, get with my engineer and, book a session and, check schedules and that sort of thing. Anytime I'm inspired to write or record, I can just go downstairs in my basement.
Yeah, you can just go.
And I can just go and record at will. So I've been able to do a lot more features, a lot more side projects since March than I've probably done in the previous 2-3 years. So it's been a blessing in disguise. So I don't want to take any of this for granted. It must have happened for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I'm just embracing that.
And talking about your increased productivity at the moment, apart from a full length or a part 2 and or a part 3 of the Connect EP, are there other projects you're working on or going to work on in the near future?
Yeah, I've worked on. There's another project with a group, a collaborative group called Fire Team Alpha. This is an international collective of producers, MCs, and DJs from different parts of the world, U.S., Canada, UK, and some other places as well. We've completed a project, or going to be completed pretty soon. It's all been recorded. It's just being mixed, mastered right now. That should be coming out anytime soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm slowly but surely working on a social media volume 2. Mm-hmm. I don't have a release date on that yet, but definitely more information to follow in the coming months. But there's that, and there's some other little side projects that I'm not going to speak on just yet. But okay. I have a number of things on the go simultaneously, so be on the lookout.
Very, very good to hear. Now, of course, for us here in the studio, but also for the listeners at home, if we want to keep tabs and if we want to see what is coming out, where should people go to?
You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Same handle. It's at HGMonsteres. That's HGMonsteres. Mm-hmm. I post fairly regularly on Facebook and Instagram, probably the most, but I'm on Twitter a little bit, so there are always going to be updates on what's happening. Yeah. So definitely keep in tune with what's going on.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I cannot ask you for your next gig because we just don't know when everything's going to be released again to the public.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as live shows, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unknown right now. I mean, it's funny. I did a live show maybe about a month ago. Mm-hmm. It was pretty interesting. in the COVID era, no patrons.
How was that? Did everyone need to keep 6 feet apart, or?
Yeah. So basically, people were at tables. They had to remain seated. Oh. They had to have their masks on. They weren't allowed to, stand up or move around or anything like that. The performers on stage had to perform behind somewhat of a plexiglass barrier. Mm-hmm. So it's different. Something I'd never experienced before, but I understood. Given the times we're in right now, it's understandable, but it's made for an awkward live experience. But we made it work.
I can imagine. What is that like for an artiste? I mean, as a performing artist, you also get your energy from the audience, but that was totally taken away by having to remain seated.
Yeah, definitely a test of your MC skills. So if you can keep a crowd engaged when they're not allowed to stand up or move around, then you're doing something right. So fortunately for me, the show went well. People seemed to be engaged in what I was doing and what I was saying. So we make it work. We make it work, man.
Wow, very, very good. Well, anyway, I'm very happy to hear that at least something good came out of this whole COVID crisis, and that's that the people with the artist in them and the resourcefulness to make it all work can still produce and give effect to what's in them.
Yes, indeed.
And we're going to be hearing a lot more from you.
Yes, definitely stay tuned, and if you're on social media, definitely give me a follow. Definitely check the music pages out. There's a lot of good music on there for your audience if they're not familiar with it. I have a number of albums out, so yeah, definitely check it out. And if you dig what you hear, support's greatly appreciated.
Nice. We're going to follow this up, of course, with It's Coming, It's Here. One of the songs from the new Connected EP by ES and DJ Pandemonium. Both on the other side of the planet, but still coming together through the internet to make great productions. I thank you very much for taking the time to have this conversation. And
no problem.
Even though
Thank you for having me.
Even though the situation might not be very optimal, just keep on keeping on.
Absolutely, it's a must. It's a must.
Hey, thank you very much. You have a great day there in Canada, and we'll be maybe talking to you in the near future.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on your platform.